The Somerton Man, a name without a face. It's a warm evening on Somerton Beach, South Australia, November 30, 1948. The sun dips below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the sand. Couples stroll on the shore, their laughter mixing with the rhythm of the waves. And there, against a low seawall, a man sits alone. He's dressed in a suit, sharp, polished, out of place for a summer night. His head rests back, a cigarette balanced on his chest. To passersby, he's just a guy taking in the view. But as the night deepens, he doesn't move. By morning, he'll be gone. Not just from this beach, but from the world. And all he'll leave behind is a scrap of paper with 2 words. Tamám Shud. No name, no cause of death, no answers. For over 70 years, the Somerton Man has haunted investigators, historians, and curious minds. A bus ticket, a hidden code, a book of poetry, and a woman who might have held the key. It's a puzzle that's defied every attempt to solve it. Was he a spy caught in a Cold War web? A lover chasing a forbidden romance? Or just a man who wanted to disappear? I'm Jay Nichol of Nichol Investigations, and this is Ontario Cold Cases, Canada's True Crime Podcast. Today we dive into one of Australia's greatest mysteries, the Somerton Man. So grab your headphones and let's step back to 1948. Hello, I'm Jay Nichol of Nichol Investigations, and this is Ontario Cold Cases, Canada's True Crime Podcast. Ontario Cold Cases is a gripping true crime podcast that shines a light on unsolved murders, disappearances, and forgotten crimes from across the province and the world. With meticulous research, compelling storytelling, and a commitment to historical accuracy, we bring you the real stories of victims, investigators, and suspects, stories that demand to be heard. Each week, we take you deep into the world of true crime with a packed schedule of episodes. Tuesdays, historical true crime cases, exploring infamous and obscure crimes from history. Wednesdays, the Mick and Mac Mysteries, a thrilling fictional detective series set in 1950s Toronto. Thursdays, World Cold Case Thursday, investigating unsolved cases from around the globe. Sundays, Ontario Cold Cases, the latest episode uncovering an unsolved mystery from Ontario. From high-profile crimes that shock the nation to little-known cases waiting for justice, we uncover the truth, one case at a time. Join us as we explore the dark corners of history and mystery, where every clue could lead to answers and every case deserves a second look. Subscribe now wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts and never miss an episode of Ontario Cold Cases, Canada's True Crime Podcast. The discovery. It's just after 6:30 a.m. December 1st, 1948. Somerton Beach is quiet, kind of place where locals walk their dogs or jog along the shore. John Lyons, a jeweler, is out with his wife when he spots something odd. There's that man from last night, still slumped against a seawall. His legs are stretched out, his right arm limp by his side. John calls out. There's no response. He moves closer. The man's face is calm, almost serene, but his eyes are fixed, unblinking. John's wife urges him to get help. Within hours, police swarm the beach, cordoning off the scene. The man is well dressed. A white shirt, red and blue tie, brown trousers, a double-breasted jacket. His shoes are polished to a shine. He's about 5'11", maybe 40 or 45 years old, with fair hair and blue eyes. He's fit with these unusually high-toned calf muscles, like a dancer or a runner. But here's the first twist. Every label on his clothing has been cut away. No tags, no initials, nothing. In his pockets, they find a half-empty pack of juicy fruit gum, a box of matches, a used bus ticket from Adelaide to St. Leonard's, an unused train ticket to Henley Beach. There's also a pack of Army Club cigarettes. But inside are 7 Casitas cigarettes, a different brand. Also, an aluminum comb, American-made. But no wallet, no ID, no money. Witnesses come forward. A couple saw him the night before around 7 o'clock p.m. in the same spot. One man even swore he saw the guy raise his arm, like he was reaching for something, maybe that cigarette on his collar. Police estimate he died some time after 2 o'clock a.m. But how? There's no blood, no wounds, no sign of a struggle. To the cops, it's looking like a heart attack or maybe a suicide. But the missing labels, the odd mix of cigarettes, something feels off. Who was this guy? And why was he so hard to trace? Put yourself in the police's shoes for a second. You've got a body, no name, and a handful of everyday items that don't add up. What's your first move? Hold that thought. We're about to go deeper. Up next, the investigation deepens. The investigation deepens. The Adelaide police take the body to the morgue, hoping an autopsy will crack the case. Dr. John Cleland, the pathologist, gets to work. He notes the man's wedge-shaped toes, his missing lateral incisors, a rare dental condition called hypodontia, and those peculiar ears, where the upper part is larger than the lower, a trait only 1 or 2% of people have. But the real clues come from inside. The man's stomach holds a half-digested pasty, eaten maybe 3 or 4 hours before he died. His heart is stopped tight, like it was squeezed shut. There's congestion in his liver, spleen, and brain, a strange pooling of blood in his stomach. No stab wounds, no bullet holes, no scratches. But something killed him. The toxicologist tests for everything: arsenic, cyanide, strychnine. Nothing shows up. Yet the coroner, Thomas Cleland, no relation to the doctor, suspects poison. Not your garden variety rat killer, but something slick, fast, traceless. Maybe digitalis from foxglove or a barbiturate. Problem is, there's no bottle, no syringe, no proof. The 1949 inquest calls it an unnatural death, but can't say if it's suicide or murder. Frustrating, right? Then comes a game changer. Weeks after the body is found, a constable rechecks the man's trousers and finds a tiny fob pocket overlooked at first. Inside is a rolled up scrap of paper, no bigger than a matchstick. 2 words are printed on it: Tamám Shud. Persian for it is ended or finished. Police trace the phrase to a book, a rare one, The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of 12th century poetry about life, love, and fate. They realize the scrap is torn from the final page. Now, the hunt is on for that book. Months pass, and in July 1949, a man walks into the Adelaide police station. He's got a copy of the Rubaiyat, a 1941 edition. It says he found it in the back of his unlocked car, parked near Somerton Beach, around the time the body was discovered. Police check it out, and bam, the torn edge of the last page matches a Tamám Shud scrap perfectly. But that's not all. On the book's back cover, scrawled in pencil, is what looks like a code. 5 lines of letters, no pattern, no sense. I'll include the code in the show notes if you want to take a crack at solving it. Cryptographers, including the Australian military, take a crack at it. They get nowhere. Is it a secret message? A poem? Gibberish? To this day, no one's cracked it. But there's one more clue in that book. An unlisted phone number scribbled inside. The number leads to a woman living just a mile and a half from Somerton Beach in Glenelg. Her name, Jessica Thompson, a 27-year-old nurse. When police show up at her door, she's cagey, says she doesn't know the man. But when they show her a plaster cast of his face, witnesses say she nearly faints, like she's seen a ghost. She sticks to her story, no idea who he is. But she admits she once gave a copy of the Rubaiyat to a soldier named Alfred Boxall during the war. Police track Boxall down. He's alive in Sydney with his book intact. So Jessica's not lying about that. But why does a dead man have her number? That to me is the most important aspect of this entire case. Why does he have the phone number of Jessica Thompson? Okay, listeners, let's pause for a second. We've got a poison with no trace, a torn poem, an uncracked code, and a nurse who's acting real suspicious. What's your theory so far? Let me know. Leave your comments. Wherever you are listening, I want to hear your takes. Up next, theories and speculation. Theories and speculation. By the summer of 1949, the Somerton Man isn't just a case. He's a phenomenon. Adelaide's newspapers can't get enough. Unknown man baffles police. Cafes hum with locals swapping guesses. And letters pour into the station with wild ideas. The cops are stuck chasing leads that vanish like smoke. So the public takes over, spinning tales that could fill a bookshelf of thrillers. We've got 3 big theories to unravel today, each one pulling us into a different corner of this mystery. So buckle up, listeners, because we're going deep. First stop, the shadowy world of espionage. Let's set the stage. It's 1948. The world's a chessboard. World War II's ashes are still warm. The Cold War's already freezing relations. The US and Soviet Union are locked in a stare-down, racing for rockets, bombs, anything to tip the balance. Australia may look like a sunny outpost, but it's got secrets worth stealing. A few hours' drive from Adelaide, the Woomera test range is rising from the desert. A hush-hush project with the British, testing missiles, maybe even early nuclear gear. Out at Radium Hill, they're clawing uranium from the earth, the lifeblood of atomic weapons. If you're a spy, Soviet, American, anyone, South Australia is a gold mine. Now picture a man in Somerton Beach. No wallet, no papers. Every stitch of clothing stripped of its label. It's not a guy forgetting his dry cleaning. It's someone erasing his trail. His death, no blood, no struggle. Just a heart stopped cold, likely by poison. The coroner's guessing digitalis from foxglove or barbiturate. Stuff that vanishes in the blood, leaving no trace. Spies love that kind of exit. A hollow ring of fake tooth, a capsule tucked in a pocket. Swallow it, and you're gone before they crack your cover. Then there's that Rubaiyat book, with its torn Tamám Shud scrap, and that code scrawled inside. All those letters jumbled like a puzzle. Australia's best cryptographers, even the military, couldn't crack it. What if it's a one-time pad? Kind of cipher only 2 people can read. Maybe it's a drop point, code word, or the name of a mole. The Rubaiyat itself could be a tool. Spies use books to hide messages, picking words or pages to signal plans. Tearing out Tamám Shud, Persian for it's ended, might have been his final act, closing the mission, or his life. And don't sleep on Jessica Thompson, the nurse whose number was in that book. She was in Sydney during the war, working in hospitals, brushing elbows with soldiers, maybe even intelligence officers. Some sleuths think she was a low-level asset, someone who passed notes, watched for odd faces, or kept secrets for the right price. If our man's a Soviet agent, say, sniffing around Woomera's blueprints or Radium Hill's output, Jessica could be his contact. They meet in Adelaide, but something's off. Maybe she's flipped, working for ASIO, Australia's brand new spy hunters, formed just later in 1949. Or maybe Moscow's tying up loose ends. A drop of poison in his tea, a quiet walk to the beach, and he's out of the game. There is history to back this up. In 1945, a Soviet clerk named Igor Guzhenko defected in Canada, exposing spy rings across the West. Australia was on that list. Cables later showed Moscow had operatives down under, scoping military sites. Woomera was a British-US darling. Any leak there could have shifted the Cold War's early moves. Our man might have been a courier, carrying specs on a new rocket, or a defector running from his own side. But here's a snag. Adelaide's no Vienna. Why run a high-stakes op in a beachside town? And that juicy fruit gum, the bus ticket, kind of mundane for a master spy, right? Still, in a world where strangers could be enemies, the Somerton Man fits the part a little too well. Let's pivot to a story that hits closer to the heart. A love affair that might have ended in ashes. Jessica Thompson's our anchor here, and she's no ordinary bystander. She's 27 and 48, a nurse living a mile and a half from Somerton Beach, raising a son, Robin, born in 1947. No father's listed on his birth papers. And Jessica is tight-lipped about her past. When police knock on her door, they show her a plaster cast of the Somerton Man's face. Witnesses say she goes pale. Her hands tremble like she's staring at someone she buried long ago. But she insists, she doesn't know him. Come on, Jessica, what's the real story? She admits to one thing. During the war, she gave a copy of the Rubaiyat to a soldier, Alfred Boxall. A bit of a flirtation while she was nursing in Sydney. Police find Boxall alive in Sydney. His book still inscribed with her handwriting. Strike one for that lead. But our dead guy's got her phone number, scribbled on that rubaiyat. And that phrase, Tamám Shud, torn from a poem about love, fate, and grabbing life before it slips away, it feels personal, doesn't it? Now here's where it gets really compelling. Robin Thompson grows up to dance with the Australian ballet, a graceful kid with a knack for the stage. Researchers dig into his life years later and find something jaw-dropping. Robin's got the same high, toned calf muscles as a Somerton Man, like a sprinter or a ballerina. His toes are wedge-shaped, just like our guy's. His ears have that rare quirk, top bigger than the bottom, a trait in maybe 1% of people. And get this, he's got hypodontia, missing the same lateral incisors. Those aren't coincidences. They're genetic fingerprints. The chance of all that lining up randomly, slimmer than a needle in a haystack. So let's imagine it. Jessica meets a man during the war, maybe a patient or soldier passing through Sydney's chaos. Sparks fly, Robin's born, but the world moves on. By 48, she's in Adelaide building a new life, maybe dodging questions about her son's dad. Then he shows up, our mystery man, tracking her down. Maybe he wants her back, or to see Robin, or just to know why she left. But Jessica's got walls up. She's got a new partner, her secrets she can't share. He's gutted. That rubaiyat scrap, with its bittersweet verse, could be his farewell. A suicide note in poison, swallowed as he sits by the sea. Or darker still, maybe someone close to Jessica, a lover, a protector, decides he's a threat. A quiet dose, a stage collapse, and he's gone. Jessica's life adds fuel to this. She was independent, private, maybe scarred by the war's upheaval. Nurses saw things, loss, betrayal. That could harden a heart. When she died in 2007, she left no diary, no confession. Robin passed in 2009, taking any clues with him. But that look she gave the cast, that flinch, it's like a ghost reach out. Was she hiding love, guilt, or fear? We'll never know, but it's hard not to feel for her, caught in a story bigger than one night on a beach. All right, let's step into the shadows for a third theory, the black market. Post-war Australia is no picnic. Rationing's choking the country. Sugar, butter, petrol, even clothes are hard to come by. People want what they can't get, and they're willing to pay. Adelaide's a port city. Ships docking with sailors who've got cash and connections. Smuggling's big. Cigarettes, liquor, drugs, you name it. The black market's a web, and our man might have been tangled in it. Think about it. No ID, no labels. Like he's dodging a spotlight. That's not just a spy's trick, it's a crook's. The code in the rubaiyat? Maybe it's not a cipher for Moscow, but a ledger. Names of buyers, ounces of morphine, dates for a drop. Those conceited cigarettes stuffed in an army club pack. Why mix brands unless you're hiding something? Smuggled tobacco was gold in 48. A pack could be a signal or a payoff. Even the rubaiyat fits. Books were swapped in shady deals to pass notes or goods without a trace. The poisoned dead ringer for this world. Black market feuds didn't end in bar fights. They ended quietly. a rival dealer, a double-cross partner. They know how to dose a drink with digitalis or something stolen from a hospital. No mess, no witnesses, just a body on a beach. And Jessica, yeah, she's back in this one too. Nurses could get their hands on drugs, especially in a time when morphine and barbiturates were floating around clinics. Was she a courier, passing pills for cash? Or just someone who knew the wrong people? A guy like our man, polished but rootless, could have been a middleman, charming enough to blend in, desperate enough to take risks. The scene's easy to picture. Post-war Adelaide's got dive bars near the docks where sailors and hustlers trade whispers. Our man's there maybe betting on horses to cover his real gig. He crosses someone, a supplier, a buyer, even a cop, playing both sides. They meet near Somerton Beach, all friendly-like, but his drink spiked. He stumbles to the seawall. The rubaiyat still in his coat, and that's it. The labels, the tickets, the gum, they're just a hustler's props, not a spy's toolkit. There's some meat to this bone. Rationing was brutal. Records show Aussies were nabbed for smuggling everything from silk to whiskey. Ports like Adelaide were hotspots. Customs logs from 48 list busts for illegal cigs and booze. But here's a catch. Got no proof our man was dirty. No stash, no ledger, no snitch naming him. The code could just be doodles. The poison might be personal, not business. Still, in a city hungry for more than it could buy, a guy with no name fits the underworld like a glove. Okay, listeners, let's hear it. It's pulling you in. A Cold War operative, silence for secrets. A lover chasing Jessica's heart to his grave. Or a black market player who bet on the wrong deal. Lay it out, I'm all ears. Don't go anywhere, because this mystery's got more twists coming. Up next, the 2022 breakthrough. The 2022 breakthrough. For decades, the Somerton Man stayed nameless. His body was embalmed, buried in Adelaide's West Terrace Cemetery, under a simple marker, unknown man. But the story didn't end. Enter Derek Abbott, a professor at the University of Adelaide. For years, Derek's been obsessed with the case. Get this, he even married a woman whose family tree might tie to Jessica Thompson. Talk about dedication. In 2021, Derek and the South Australia Police exhumed the body. They pulled DNA from hair samples preserved since 1948. Working with Colleen Fitzpatrick, a forensic genealogist, they start building a family tree. It's like a genetic jigsaw puzzle, tracing distant cousins across continents. And in July 2022, Derek drops a bombshell. The Somerton Man is likely Carl Webb. Carl who? Carl Charles Webb was born in 1905 in Melbourne. An electrical engineer, loved tinkering with instruments. He was 43 in 1948, married to a woman named Dorothy, or Doff, in 1941. But by 47 they'd split. Dorothy moved to South Australia, maybe to start over. Carl liked poetry, check, and bet on horses. Huh? Maybe that code's a betting slip. He had no kids. His family were scattered. When he died, no one came looking. The DNA lines up through distant relatives. Carl's got those rare traits. Hypodontia, the ear shape. But here's a catch. South Australia police haven't stamped it official. They're still digging. And some skeptics wonder if the DNA is strong enough without a closer match. Plus, Carl's life doesn't scream spy or tragic lover. So is he our guy? If it is Carl, it raises new questions. Did he follow Dorothy to Adelaide? Was he chasing a fresh start or running from something? And that poison? Accident, suicide, or murder? The Rubaiyat, the code, Jessica, they don't vanish just because we have a name. Up next, reflection and legacy. Reflection and legacy. So where does that leave us? Somerton Man, Carl Webb or not, is more than a cold case. It's a mirror. We see ourselves in it. Our need to solve puzzles, to give names to the nameless. Back in 1948, Adelaide was a sleepy city, but this stranger turned it into a stage for the world's curiosity. Spy stories feed our fears. The love angle broke our hearts. And that Tamám Shud scrap, it's like he left us a note saying, "Figure me out." Even with DNA, some threads dangle. What did Jessica know? Was that code a cry for help, a bet, or nothing at all? And why Somerton Beach? I want to hear your take. If you were Carl or whoever he was, what would you hide in that fob pocket? Share your thoughts wherever you listen or message us directly. Somerton Man reminds us that every life's a story, even if it ends in silence. And sometimes the not knowing is what keeps us searching. So what do you think? Does Tamám Shud mean it's over or just beginning? And so, we leave the Somerton Man on that quiet beach. A story etched in sand, washed by time but never fully erased. Tamám Shud, it means it is ended. But for this mystery, the questions linger like footprints that refuse to fade. Was he a spy? A lover? A man lost to his own secrets? Maybe it was all three. Or none at all. What we do know is that for over 70 years, he's held a mirror to our curiosity, daring us to find answers where only shadows remain. I'm Jay Nickel of Nickel Investigations, and this has been Ontario Cold Cases, Canada's True Crime Podcast, diving deep in the enigma of the Somerton Man, a name without a face. If this story's got you hooked, and I bet it has, don't miss out on more cases that keep us up at night. Subscribe to Ontario Cold Cases wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, that little app you love. New episodes drop daily, peeling back the layers of Canada's mysteries and beyond. And we'd hate for you to miss a single one. Want to join the hunt? Head to the website or hit us up on X with Ontario Cold Cases. Share your theories. What's your take on that Tamám Shud scrap? Could it still hold the key? Your voice could spark the next breakthrough. Until next time, keep chasing the truth, because even the coldest cases have stories that deserve to be told. This is Jay Nickel, because every case deserves answers, and every victim deserves justice.